This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Welcome to Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I am your host, Addul Ali. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Hope you had a good, restful evening and such. I'm so glad that you have the time to join us this morning. If you don't mind, give us a like, share, subscribe, a follow. You can also join us over at tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. Get yourself floating in the mix like that. Get yourself one of these little work privileges mugs or an Urban Conservative t-shirt or something like that to help us keep the swag going here on the Urban Conservative. We really appreciate all of our underwriters, supporters, etc. And also, if you want to sponsor a show, you go on over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself that link right there that says sponsor TUC. You can sponsor an episode or a season. We really appreciate you doing that. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors and the folks that have come on board to support us. Now, I got one event that I want to plug for y'all this morning. If you have not gotten your tickets already, if you are in the Wake County, North Carolina area, Wake and surrounding counties, you are not going to want to miss this event. This is the Douglas Lincoln Debate, one-act play and dinner. It's going down at Sophie's Bar and Grill, 2734 NC 55 up there in Cary, North Carolina. This is an amazing play. It's two actors, a good brother by the name of Doug Marone put this play together. They've taken the correspondences of Lincoln and Douglas and turned them into a stage show. We will also have special guest president of the Frederick Douglass Foundation of North Carolina, civil rights icon Clarence Henderson. So please jump on over to Douglas Debate Wake.eventbrite.com. And as you can see, this ain't no joke, folks. They literally dress up and hit you with the Douglas, the Lincoln. It's a serious business. So again, that is going down Saturday at the Cary's in Cary at Sophie's Bar and Grill up there in Wake County. Again, Douglas Debate Wake.eventbrite.com. Ticket sales end tomorrow night. Last but certainly not least, I will see you all in Charlotte tonight for the AFP Education Series down there at Dilworth Grill. So looking forward to seeing y'all at Dilworth Grill tonight. Now, okay, there's this thing going on. Okay, there's this thing going on where people are up in arms about this pizza place. Okay, and the reason they're up in arms about this pizza place, and the sign was put up there months ago. I mean, this sign has probably been up for a few months from what I'm understanding, but this is the sign that's up there. Okay, now hiring non-stupid people. That's the sign. Now hiring non-stupid people. Now, the Ohio pizzeria is facing backlash for this because people are saying, oh, you shouldn't have a sign up like that. Who would want to work in a place like that? The sign appeared in front of Santino's Pizzeria a few months ago. It's only going viral now after a customer posted a photo. Jaden Dunnigan, whose family owns the restaurant, had spoke with WSYX and said that the sign was meant in jest and not intended to hurt anyone. A lot of people they've hired just don't want to work, he said. There's no work ethic behind them. So that's the meaning behind the non-stupid. Now, are we all going to pretend like we haven't been to a restaurant as of late, or we haven't been to a business as of late and just had the worst service? There has been a noticeable decline in the work ethic and the quality of people. I don't know I don't know. Maybe the welfare state has something to do with this. Maybe the fact that the increase in the feeling of entitlement of people has something to do with this. Maybe people just don't want to work anymore because it's easier to go home and collect benefits and do that kind of thing. Maybe. I'm not suggesting that. All I'm saying is I would have looked at that sign and said, now hiring non-stupid people. I guess I'm non-stupid, but do I want to work in a pizza shop is the question. So these folks put this sign up, and obviously people are going all over the internet and Twitter and kind of giving them the business. Some folks are saying it's honest hiring practice. We don't want anybody that's going to come in here and be stupid, do stupid things like come in here trying to, high or drunk or something like that, or be rude to the customers. Other folks are saying if that's the first impression you choose to make as a business owner, don't complain when your employees leave. Okay. I guess I can get that. I don't know. It is a weird to me. I don't know that me as a business owner that I would have put that up there. I don't know that I would have done that, but I get the sentiment. I get the sentiment. I know people literally that, when I had jobs, if I had to go be to work at 11 o'clock, I'm there at 10:30. Why? I'm leaving out the house at 10 o'clock. Even if the job is 20 minutes away, I'm still leaving an hour early. So why? I don't have to deal with that flat tire. Anything can happen. But I'm not going to pretend that we haven't all been to places and heard about how people are working. So let's look at this from the perspective of the employer, though. It takes time and money to train you. It takes time and money to get you benefits. You got to do the payroll tax. You got to do all of these things. How much turnover do you really want to have as an employer? So I'm curious of what y'all think. Is this sign out of pocket? Is now hiring non-stupid people out of pocket? I didn't think it was out of pocket. I just think it was a good way to weed out the people that don't want to work there, that don't want to work. Now, are you supposed to be working at a pizza shop for the rest of your life? Probably not. I mean, I get it if you're a young person and you need some delivery money or, you need some college money. I get that. But you're not going to earn the type of wages that'll support a full-fledged mom, dad, and a family working in a pizza shop. Now, if you're the owner, that might be a different story. But I don't think this was a bad idea. I think they did it in jest, and we're in a world right now where the snowflakeism is rampant. You can't say anything without somebody being offended anymore. You can't do it. You can't tell a joke in some cases without people being extremely offended. So here you have a pizza shop. Just let me know what y'all think in the comments. Was this a bad move? Was this a good idea? Was this a terrible idea? I don't think it was a bad idea. I think it's funny. Honestly, it's kind of funny. But I think it's also very telling about where we are as a society when employers have to go to the extent of doing something like this. Even if it was in jest, I get the actual sentiment of it. I get the whole point of it. We don't want people that are going to come in and jack up our business, not treat our customers with respect, not do the job we're asking them to do. Okay. Some people are saying, haha, good luck. It's pretty simple. When you pay garbage wage, you're only attracting certain people. That's a fair point to make, but it's not about a garbage wage. It's about the wage the business can afford to pay. I don't think don't go to Santino's Pizzeria and expect to make $25 an hour. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. And if you are, you're one of the stupid people that they don't want to hire. We're going to take a quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. Don't you go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about Biden and Tim Scott running for president. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Top of the Morning. I'm your host, Addul Ali. I did not give you this at the outset, but here's what we on today. We on our TUC mug game. If you haven't done so already, please jump on over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership, grab yourself a work privilege mug or something like that to help us keep the dice rolling while we doing what we doing over here, spreading conservatism to urban areas across the country. Now, I got to talk about this real quick because, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that a whole bunch of Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run again. Now, this is interesting because his numbers are terrible. Okay, his polling numbers are terrible. Nobody thinks he's doing a good job. Even Democrats don't think he's doing a good job. Okay, he hasn't really said he's going to run again, but this is going to be, as it was last time, a protracted, painstaking thing when we try to figure out what Uncle Joe is trying to do, what old Jim Crow Joe is trying to do. So the belief among nearly everybody in the Biden world is that he's ultimately going to give the all clear. His indecision has resulted in an awkward deep freeze across the party, and some potential presidents, candidates, and scores of major donors are strategizing, even down to developing a plan B, while they try to remain respectful and publicly supportive of the 80-year-old president. So let's go over some names here real quick. Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois is a possibility. Gavin Newsom of California is a possibility. Phil Murphy of New Jersey is a possibility, and they all have taken steps that could be seen at aiming to keep the door cracked if Biden bows out. Now, with enough ambiguity give them plausible deniability, people like Bernie Sanders and Amy Klobuchar are making similar moves. I don't know that Bernie has got it in him. I don't see Bernie doing it again. I don't think that, I think of all the Democrats that are out there, you might be looking at Gavin Newsom out of California as the potential strongest candidate. There's somebody else, it's something else that you got to do to consider in this whole mix, though. And that is your man down there in Georgia, your man Raphael Warnock. He might run for president, and that may be problematic. Now, obviously, Biden doesn't know where he's at half the time, doesn't know when he is half the time, doesn't know where he is. The idea here is that somebody like Raphael Warnock could possibly step in and knock everybody else out of the box. The only problem that I see with that is that he's going to have to deal with somebody like a Gavin Newsom who can raise a crap ton of money out of California. And that, I think, is going to end up being ultimately what we see is Democrats scrambling for about another 2 to 3 months. And then we're going to hear some announcements. I do not see Joe Biden continuing to be able to do the job. It's not that he's doing the job now. I mean, Lord knows how much stuff they got to pump in him to get him out there. And then you got to think about this. The man ain't even, Trump is in Ohio helping folks out, laughing. People are laughing. Oh, Trump bought those people McDonald's. What do you think they eat? How do you think McDonald's is the size of the corporation that it is? If you're out there working and you need something quick, hey, that's the good old American thing. Get them some McDonald's. But I don't see Biden doing it again. I don't think he has the physical wherewithal. There was a list of ailments that came out the other day that Biden has now. I don't think he is physically, cognitively capable of doing the job of president. I just don't see it. I don't see him with the wherewithal to do it. And I think we're going to end up with either a Gavin Newsom or somebody like that running for the Democratic ticket. And better not be Bernie. I'm going to just say that right now. We can't stand. I don't think Bernie can physically, he's almost Biden's age? No, I don't think that's going to work. I don't see Bernie doing it. Now, on the Republican side, this becomes very interesting when you consider, when you consider who's going to run on the Republican side. Now, there's rumblings about a couple of people that are going to run on the Republican side. And here's the interesting thing about that. Nikki Haley's already announced. You got Nikki Haley out there. You got Vivek Ramaswamy, who's also announced. And now we're talking about this guy may potentially be trying to run for president. Tim Scott's team is reportedly planning to run against Trump and Haley in the 2024 presidential primary. Now, during an interview on Fox News, the South Carolina senator was asked if he was working with the team of advisors to plan a run against Donald Trump and Nikki Haley in the 24 Republican primary. And Scott told Fox News host Sandra Smith, the most important thing we have is mission. The mission we have is to restore hope and create opportunities for working class Americans. We're going to have a Faith in America tour so that we can listen to the American people. But the truth is, the title should be less important. The mission of serving the greatest land on earth and the people within it. That is my mission. God bless me with the ability to be a United States Senator, and I'm looking forward to continuing to hear across the country what the priorities of the American people are. I will say this, Sandra. We need to give an optimistic, positive message that brings our country back together because we're in the middle of a cultural strife that we haven't seen in a number of years. Now, the Wall Street Journal, that's Tim Scott talking on Fox News. Now, the Wall Street Journal fueled that speculation about Senator Scott joining the 2024 primary last week when it cited anonymous sources familiar with his plans on a presidential bid. Now, Jennifer DeCasper, who is a senior advisor, said that the senator was excited to share his vision of hope and opportunity and hear the American people's response. Now, on the question of whether or not he could combat Trump with this message, Scott declined to take the bait to criticize Trump and redirected the focus of the conversation to the American people. Now, when asked if he could take on Trump, this is his response. Being a kid growing up in poverty, this country afforded me an opportunity to live my American dream in a way that no other country on earth could allow. It was not possible to see my story happen, but my story is the same as millions of other Americans across this great land. The question we should ask ourselves is there an appetite for more of what we've seen in the past? Is there an appetite for more of what we've seen in the past? And I think the answer is yes. Okay. I think that this is going to be very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Donald Trump. Now, Tim Scott's not a pushover at all. Not a pushover. Okay. I don't think we're going to see a timid Republican primary. If this goes down, now I don't even know how you would attack Tim Scott. I think he's done a great job as a South Carolina senator. I think he's done a wonderful job in communicating the values. I'm not going to front. I'd love to see another black Republican up there giving it the go just the way Ben Carson did. I think this is going to be very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to see if Tim Scott, so we'd be talking about Donald Trump, okay? We'd be talking about Nikki Haley, and we'd be talking about that. Now, Bob Finch in the comment section says, Tim Scott has a snowball chance in heck of winning a GOP primary. Hey, that's a valid opinion. You're welcome to that. Evan Ross shouts out to the New York conservatives. Republicans need to run good candidates that can pull independent voters. And I'm thinking he means unaffiliated. Yes, I think we do that. Okay. I think what we're going to need to do is if let's just say all things go the way that they went last time and Trump is the nominee, we're going to have to figure out how to deal with this Trump fatigue, because that is exactly what the media is doing right now. Okay. That is what the media is trying to do right now, is give the American people Trump fatigue. But again, we shall see, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Scott toying around with the idea of jumping in the presidential primary. Now, right at the 20-minute mark here on Top of the Morning, you're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Don't go nowhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with our last story of the day, and then we're going to get on out of here, folks. Don't go nowhere. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Top of the Morning. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. My name is Addul Ali, and thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you haven't done so already, you can support the platform by going over to tuconservative.com, getting yourself a Hamilton plan. That $10 is still $10. We know Biden inflation got everything skyrocketing, but we still only rock with the $10 Hamilton plan. That will give you access to our wonderfully curated news feed, our blog, heads up when we do special events in your area, and you also get discounts on Urban Conservative merch. So go on over there to tuconservative.com. Grab yourself a membership. That would be a wonderful way to support what we're doing here on the platform. Now, I want to talk about this real quick on the tail end. Duke University researchers study plea deals in Durham County. Now, here's the thing. Does race play a role in the criminal justice system? Now, this is the question we're asking is, does race play a role in the criminal justice system? Now, and the reason I'm going to say that it does is because look who's committing most of the crime. Look who's the victims of most of the crime. Now, this study being done by Duke University, and of course, you should already know what it is. Plea deals are the most common way criminal cases are resolved in North Carolina. They're used in 90% of the time, but who gets them the most and why? Now, what this study is showing is this research came out Tuesday from Duke University. It took more than a year for them to do a study of every angle of the plea deals offered by the Durham County courtrooms. They wanted to figure out who got the best deals and why. And at the times, the lack of transparency there's been when it comes to plea negotiations can fuel public distrust in the criminal justice system, said Kevin Dahagi, the lead researcher who has been studying plea deals in Durham from April of 21 to April of 22. Most surprising to him and to District Attorney Satana DeBerry were the findings that pertain to race. Oh, here we go. In cases with white defendants, prosecutors were more likely to consider more mitigating factors or reasons that a sentence could be lighter. In cases with black defendants, prosecutors tended to consider more aggravating factor or reasons that the sentences should be harsher. The data showed how many of the people charged in Durham were black. About 80% of the people that we prosecute are black. About 60% of the victims are also black, said the DA, whereas they account for 30% of the population. The study also found that nearly 2/3 of all charges in Durham were dismissed by prosecutors. 93% of the time, the main reason for that is the defendant was pleading guilty to something else. The study shows that the type of attorney a defendant has impacts the outcome, and people with private counsel were less likely to get prison time. Now, here's the problem. If you're suggesting that people in Durham are getting heavier sentences or more sentences just because they're black, you'd be wrong about that. The Obama administration did a study on prison sentences, right? A black president, air finger quote, black president, black, what's his name? What was the guy? Eric Holder was his guy, right? What happened is they found out that it's not racist. What we're finding out is, unfortunately, black folks have more criminal background history. If you're comparing somebody with previous charges and a previous background to some white guy or some black guy, even for that matter, who's never had any charges, that's not an apples to apples comparison. And this is what WRAL does, and this is what the media does. They go into these studies, they do them, and they cherry pick data, and they leave out the most important facts of the matter. The fact of the matter is, who's committing the crime? 60% of the victims of the crime are black? Come on now, what we're trying to suggest is that the criminal justice system is somehow what do they call that? Racist? Is systemically racist? Well, how about people are systemically committing crimes in their own communities? I won't even call it black on black crime. I'll just say people are making victims out of their own communities. And then we got to turn around and hear this crap about how racist the criminal justice system is? Like, seriously? And then you got black communities out here talking about free Young Thug, free this one, free that one, that are out terrorizing our communities. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't think